Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar and thank you so much for joining. My name is Ben Nelson and alongside my colleague Tyler Bannerman, we're going to be walking you through today Action Step and Action, where we're going to be discovering the real business impacts and benefits that our platform brings to mid-sized firms looking to modernize and grow, alongside for firms that are a bit smaller and looking to elevate their game to the next level. Before we get started, let's talk a bit about us. Tyler is on our customer growth executive team and also happens to be our director of sales for Australia and New Zealand. He's been at Actionstep for a little bit over 3 years, and as a result, has had incredible experience working alongside firms, both small and large, across lots of different industries and practice areas, ultimately helping them unlock their plans for efficiency and growth. Outside of helping clients, you'll find Tyler mainly playing competitive ping pong against our team in the office and also loves talking ice hockey in respect to his teams he roots for. Like I mentioned, my name is Ben Nelson, and I'm actually one of our senior account executives here in the United States, based out of Virginia. I've been here for a little over a year and a half, and I've had the amazing opportunity to work with some of our largest boutique and process oriented firms, helping them execute on their strategy for scalability and growth. Before we actually jump into the features and material of today's webinar, let's talk a bit about what we're going to cover. First and foremost, what actually is Actionstep and who is it for and who loves it? To help you guys understand how we execute on delivering an incredible system, we're going to walk through some of the feature sets in our platform here live. We'll also touch on our integration suites and the platforms that we work with, because we know and understand that many of you likely in the room and across the globe already have existing technology in place that you'd like to plug and play with. From there, we'll discuss a bit about how we work, and for those that are interested, how to book a demonstration of our platform with our organization. Let's go ahead and get started. So a bit about Actionstep. Let's start with our inception and founding in 2004, where we were developed as a fully 100% cloud-based system, all in one, that can handle all front office and back office operations of your business. What does this actually mean? This includes all things around CRM, matter management, document assembly and storage, alongside time and billing, trusts and office accounting, as well as reporting, and much more. Workflow, templates, task automation, those round out the solution, and we will talk about those a bit further along. Now, what actually makes Actionstep different in the industry is our flexibility and configuration that we provide to firms like yourself. What we typically hear from our clients is that it's relatively, of course, easy to change softwares. What's much more challenging is changing your processes. And this is where we take a different approach. We tailor our software to your business, your verbiage, your needs, your processes, and how you run to give your team a tool set to match their skill set and ultimately be the best long-term partner and solution to help you run your business. Let's talk a bit about who loves Actionstep, and we've already talked to one of the points, and that's many modern mid-sized firms as well as smaller ones who are looking to achieve and scale alongside growth. We have a global community of over 12,000 legal professionals who love Actionstep and rely on it for everyday success of their practice. But don't just take our word for it. Alongside the 12,000 global users, we also have a 4.5 out of 5 stars average rating on Capterra, and most importantly, a 98.1% user retention rate. Those who choose to partner with us tend to stay with us as the long-term solution for their business. And this is really important, right? For a long-term partner who's going to invest, right, in the right platforms and feature sets for the business, change with the technology, and ultimately deliver the most value to the organization, finding the right short and long-term partner is key. And many firms have found that in our own solution. I also want to share a few customer testimonials from some of our managing partners, executive directors, and firm administrators across the globe who leverage our platform for organizations, large, small, process-oriented, some just wanting to get to the cloud. We're here to support you for your goals, objectives, and long-term plans. Before we jump into the specific feature sets, wanted to quickly overview again what we'll be covering today. We'll be looking through case management, our client portal, as we discuss some of the document storage and automation, some of our time entry and billing, alongside workflow, the CRM, our business accounting and reporting, and trust accounting. Let's go ahead and start off with our first functionality, and that's being a fully cloud-based system. So what we're doing then is enabling you to work from anywhere, on any device, at any point in time. Let's go ahead and jump into the system to see what that looks like. Here I am in just a regular browser. You could be in Firefox, Mozilla, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, any of the varieties across different globes. Again, as we discussed, anywhere that we can actually access the internet, whether it be from a browser, a phone, or a tablet, we can go to Actionstep. And so just to quickly show you, we'll go ahead and type in actionstep.com, and you can see this takes us to the main home screen. From here, I could go ahead and just log in, and then I'd be able to get right into my system. To show you guys as well how we're able to actually facilitate the experience from different devices, let's go ahead and take a quick look at our mobile applications. In the very bottom right here, you're going to see Actionstep, which I'll go ahead and open up. From here, you can see my home screen. I've got my upcoming appointments, right? Tasks that are due, the timesheet, the scratch pad, all of my recent matters as well. And in the top right, you'll be able to see I've got my search bar as well as timers. Likewise, we can even go ahead and create things using that green plus button. And the top right, as you can see here, things such as file notes as an example, tasks as another, and likewise time entries and a variety of others, even sending text messages from your mobile device through the system. As you can see, we can go ahead as well on the bottom and toggle through our matters view, where we can see all matters, filter, and search favorite as needed. We can as well look through our calendar and see what's upcoming as needed and see all the contacts in the system from a CRM perspective. If we go ahead and do a matter here, you can see the entire overview. So what's sitting in billing details like work in progress, outstanding, or your retainer. We can even go through all the parties, any file notes if we had any, tasks that are remaining or complete, any time that has been billed on behalf and recorded on behalf of the client. And still, we're able to create. So you see that tasks automatically go into the matter. You've got time entries with the right rates, particular to this client, and the timekeeper already set up. All of the functionality that you will need in a mobile platform alongside your laptop or desktop available within the application itself. Next up, let's talk a little bit about the client intake process. Obviously, very critical in terms of how we initially inquire with a prospective client and lead them through the journey that we want to make sure that they're actually going on. The first step of that really is going to be how we can potentially bring in through some of those leads via your website, right? Those actual initial contacts. So in the system, we'll walk through web forms here momentarily, how you can go ahead and run that conflict check, get the matter actually set up real quickly, and begin engaging with your client to get the proper touch points to make sure they feel like they're being properly communicated with. Let's go ahead and jump in. First and foremost, everyone, welcome to Nelson Law. This is the firm that I do not own and operate, but we do have set up for today's session. Like most firms in this website, I have a contact us section set up. This can be simple, it can be long. It's really whatever data points that you guys would like for when someone wants to inquire, potentially engage with your firm that you'd like to know about. So maybe how did you hear about us? Basic information like phone number, first and last name, and maybe an email address. This is specifically set up for an employment law firm who might be wondering some of the key factors for why they're reaching out. And we'll go ahead and submit this. When we actually submit this and jump into Actionstep, you'll see that the web forms has now populated. We have one from earlier today and one from now. And we'll go ahead and jump into the web form itself. And from here, we can see the submission from that potential client. And I'll go ahead and open this up. From here, we can see some of that actual data that was entered by the user that we requested. So, the location, the name, the phone number, the email address, whatever we choose. If this is spam, we can decide that it's junk, or we can go ahead and process it. What's nice is when we choose to actually process a new record, Actionstep's going to run a conflict check for you to help you determine, is this person a record in our system? Have we had previous conversations with them? And then we can go ahead and look to gather a bit more info before we reach out to them to understand what conversations that we had and ultimately what might have changed, just to give us a better insight in terms of what the client is actually going through. Of course, here we would normally bypass this for the sake of a demonstration and create the official matter in the system, but I've already created one which we'll hop into now. There's a few different ways that firms will look to actually leverage matter management and action step. Some firms, likely many in the room, actually have a very defined potential client or prospective client tracking process. So in this case, we opened up a file right on behalf of Ben Nelson as a potential client. And here, all of the information that they gathered comes into the system automatically, and there's no need for duplicate data entry. From here, we can navigate throughout all of this information. A partner could come in and go ahead and review all that information. And when we're ready to decline or engage or actually open up and retain a matter on the behalf, we'd actually go ahead and open up that matter in the system to begin working on a case that is billable and will be tracking time against. Next up in the feature sets that we're going to be walking through is matter management. And you got a bit of a sneak peek there in terms of actually setting up a matter, but we're going to talk through specifically a bit of the workflow, how task automation works, how you can record a time, and actually what our client portal within it looks like to help with document uploading. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so now let's run through the scenario when we want to open up maybe just a fresh matter in the system or we're ready to actually start working with a client. In terms of quick orientation of the home screen, along the top bar, you're going to see navigation throughout the system, searching, and the searching matters and contacts, and then your plus button, which everyone should be familiar with by now, or we can do creation throughout the system for time entries, file notes, etc. And this is where we're going to make the matter momentarily. You'll also see a calendar plugin where we have a two-way sync with Outlook 365 specifically, so you can see what appointments you have coming for the day and what your busyness actually looks like. The scratch pad is to replace the sticky notes you might place on your desktop or monitor. It's your personal space in the home screen to add anything that you would like. And you can always come in and see your recent activities. Maybe you're coming in on a Sunday, getting ready for Monday, or coming in on a Monday, seeing where you left off on a Friday, what matters you worked in, what tasks you finished, what documents you sent or updated, even which notes you left. Let's go ahead and quickly make a new matter. And we'll do so using the green plus button and then selecting matter. I'm going to go ahead and just open up a general matter. As you can see here, this will be broken out by your specific practice areas for your firm's needs, but let's go ahead and click general. So I will go ahead and we'll make Ben Nelson action step, action example. We'll make myself the attorney for the sake of today, and we will also make myself the client. You always have the ability to create a new contact as needed if you've never had them in your database, but otherwise that information will populate and it'll always be tied to their name. When we're opening up any matter, we can dictate in the system what kind of information we might want to record. So maybe on a year-by-year basis, we want to look at our marketing, right, or even our referral network and understand, right, how did you hear about us? Maybe we're focused a bit more on estate planning, right, and financial advisors or referral source that we want to keep track of just to better understand our network. And then once all that information is in, we go ahead and create that matter. And now it's set up in the system. And I can go ahead and jump right into it. Awesome. And this is our North Star view of what a matter, a file, looks like in Actionstep. You'll see here that we have a lot of the core information in terms of parties, right? File notes, tasks related to this matter, any emails we've saved or sent, the documents in the system, things we'll be covering a bit later, billing, trust accounting, the client portal, etc. And you'll also notice a lot of these fields for the tasks and parties populating in the bottom. One thing I do like to show is that all of these actual panels, just like the apps on your phone, are configurable to where you can move them around depending on what you would like to see. And you can always configure these to see certain pieces of information over others. Let's talk a little bit about workflow and what this can mean for your business and how this can impact a firm. The one thing we have not discussed on this page is this top ribbon. The basis of this is these are the steps of your process, right? There's key milestones in the life cycle with a client, right? Maybe every single time that we open up a certain type of case, we know that 4 or 5 tasks need to happen. Every single time we go to actually move to engaging and retaining a client, we know a certain task needs to be assigned or a certain email needs to be sent from our team to the client. This is where automation can happen in a system. So, at any point in your process, whether it's the beginning and end, if we define your milestones, we can create and assign any task to your team automatically. We can send any email to your client automatically with the proper information. And this is how firms who leverage Actionstep really try to get the most value out of the system beyond what's standard in the industry. What's nice to note as well is when we are creating the tasks in the system, you'll notice here in the bottom right of this panel, we're always going to prompt your team to add a time entry after this task is completed. Our goal is to facilitate time capturing and making sure it's easier for your team to remember so we can get that billable rate and utilization rate as high as possible for the firm and making sure we're capturing as much time for the client that we're actually working. From here, let's actually go ahead and take a look at the client portal. I have a number of alerts and tasks in the system that will quickly X out, but here you can see we're in the client portal for an estate planning case right now. And what's nice about the client portal is we can actually dictate here along the right side what level of access this person has. So whether it's opposing counsel, an actual client that's working with the firm, you guys get to choose what they have access to. So we dictate the folders that we have in our document management system, and we say the client is going to have access to the client portal folder. They're also going to have access to the client drafts. So in here, they can download and create documents. For the client executed documents folder, well, because they're being client executed, they can potentially replace and delete some of these. So there's a lot of granularity in terms of the client portal and your folder structure within the system, what you're actually giving them access to. Another nice element of this is there's actually a text chain. So you guys can shoot messages back and forth with your client and making sure that the communication process is clear and there's visibility from all sides. You'll also notice there's a recent portal activity here. So you can always see what this particular client, in this case Roberto Clemente, has done in terms of uploading documents, viewing documents, replacing or deleting. Again, what they can do within the system is dictated by the permissions that you give them. And what's nice is when they upload a document, you don't have to go and find it anywhere else. It's within the document management system, within the folder that they have access to, and only that folder. From here, we're going to transition to overviewing the Outlook plugin through our 365 integration, and we'll go ahead and kick that over to Tyler.
Thanks, Ben. As Ben mentioned, my name is Tyler. I've been at Actionstep for nearly 4 years now, and I am the sales manager for Australia and New Zealand here at Actionstep. So today I'm going to take you through the Outlook add-in, trust/client accounting, document assembly and management. So not only the creation of documents, but also how do you manage those precedents. I'll take you through some reporting, and then I'll give you a quick run through of the accounting suite within ActionStep as well, before we finally wrap up with a quick mention of our integration suite, how we work in terms of showing you the system, and then what you can do next in terms of booking a demo. So without further ado, Outlook. So we have here our Outlook integration. This integration works on Outlook on the web. It works on Outlook desktop, and it also works on the Outlook app on your mobile phone as well. We built this piece of technology to bring ActionStep to a place where you live every day, your emails. So here we have an email from one of my colleagues, David, and we have the action step integration on the right here. Now you can see, first of all, that there are a number of suggestions that action step is already giving me as to where to file this email. So what we do is Actionstep scans the individual who has sent the email, and then based on the name and email address of who is contacting you, Actionstep will give you a number of suggestions, ranking them by what matter you most recently worked on. So I can see here that David sent me an email. I was actually most recently working on this Hepburn Family Trust matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use one click, and that's going to file the email and any documents into the matter. Now, from within Outlook, I can do a lot more than just file the email. If there's more than one email for me to work through, then I can bulk assign a number of different emails. From within the integration here, I can see more details about the matter. I can see the most recent file note, the billing details, such as the WIP, any outstanding balances, and the trust balance as well. I can also see the full list of all the parties on this matter, the recent file notes, the incomplete tasks that still need to be done, and the time that has been recorded on this matter as well. I can also use the green plus button there to create new file notes, assign tasks to myself or to my fellow staff to get them to do additional pieces of work. And I can also record time against this as well. I may be going to review a document, or I may be responding to this email. So I can use a quick code. I can type out a description. We can put in a billable amount. And then we can see here we've got the billable amount for point 2. There's my default rate. And then by hitting save, that's now going to put that time on the matter now. So we can see that has come through. I can also speed up my emailing as well through Actionstep. If I go to reply to this matter here, and I have actions brought up, then I can do more than simply just type out an email. I can actually use a template. We'll go ahead and continue to use that Hepburn Family Trust matter there, for instance. And then what we'll do is we'll actually have an engagement letter sent. And there we go. ActionStep has automatically pre-filled all of the key information on this matter. And then I can go ahead and add an attachment from the matter as well. As I mentioned, all of this functionality is available not just in Outlook Desktop and Outlook Online, but you can also use all this functionality within Outlook on your mobile phone as well. Next up, we have trust accounting. No matter what your level of experience managing a trust account or client funds accounts, ActionStep makes it easy for you to do so. So if you have a relatively quiet trust account, or you're just getting started with trust accounting, then chances are you'll do most of your trust accounting within the matter, just in our little trust account module in the matter toolbar. So if you go to the trust account and select overview, you'll be brought into an overview of the funds that you have for this matter, which in this case I have about 75,000. If you ever put money on investment, you can also nominate some investment accounts. These are called different things in different jurisdictions. So in some places, these are called IBD accounts. In others, they're called controlled money accounts. And in other jurisdictions, it might just be called client funds on investment. I also have, for this particular client, I have got a number of other matters open for them, which have their own trust balances as well. In total, I can see the total amount of funds I am holding for this client and the total amount that they actually owe me across all of my matters in terms of unpaid sales invoices. If you need to do anything with the trust ledger, so if you need to receive funds, make a payment, do a transfer from one matter to another, see a full history of the client ledger, create a statement, do a requisition, receive interest, or reconcile your accounts, just click the necessary button and then you will be prompted to enter in the necessary information. If we take a simple example of receiving funds, for instance, I can go ahead and receive, in this case, let's receive 5,000. We can see the date that we banked it, the date that we received it, the reason for the payment. So you can create your own templated reasons here. We'll go anticipated costs in this case. Who did you receive it from? And then how did they pay you? If they paid you by check, you'll be asked the necessary information. If it was EFT, then you'll be able to put in a transaction reference. And if you'd like to upload any supporting documentation, then you can. If you hit save, Actionstep will then log this transaction to all the necessary reports, and we will automatically create a receipt for you, which you can email or print. As I can see, Actionstep's created that receipt for me. It's brought through my logo, it's brought through the name of my firm, and all of the key details are on the receipt here. Now, that is trust accounting for an individual matter, and there is trust accounting for the whole firm as well, which is just located in the primary navigation bar at the top. This is where you can see all of your receipts, and you can also import receipts if you have quite a busy trust account. You have all of your payments, and you can also make payments in bulk as well. You have all of your transfers. You can create a statement for an individual client, or if you do have quite a busy trust account, again, you actually can create statements in bulk for all of your clients as well. We have invoice payments. So if I would like to make payments across all of my matters from the trust balances, then I can pay off a series of invoices from the trust account. I can see all of my matters where I hold a trust balance here. So here are all of my matters, the types of matter that they are, the type of account that they're in, the available funds, the actual balance, and then the trust accounts that they are currently in. I then have my reconciliation where I can either create a new reconciliation doing a old-fashioned printed statement, or I can do an electronic statement upload as well, where I then upload a statement from my online banking system, where Actionstep will then go through an auto matching process for you. We also have all the audit logs, the backup history, and then we also have the ability to receive interest in bulk as well. So if you do have lots of different funds on investment, rather than you entering in the interest that you receive on those one by one, you can actually do a bulk upload as well using a CSV file. Finally, you also have all of the necessary trust reports as well. So depending on the jurisdiction that you're in, you will have slightly different reports. And across trust accounting as a whole, the rules do differ slightly from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. So whether you're in a specific state in Australia, whether you're in New Zealand, the UK, or the US, you will have trust accounting that is set to your specific jurisdiction. Within Actionstep, you also have the ability to generate documents, but also easily manage your templated precedents as well. Within Actionstep, if you simply go to the Documents area and go to Generate, your list of templates will appear in Actionstep for generation. So if we go and we pick a template, let's do an engagement letter here, for instance. And now I'm going to have a few different options of what I'd like to do with it. Do I want to download that document? Do I want to open it up straight into Office to edit it further? Do I want to PDF it and attach it as an email? Or do I want to save it elsewhere in the Matter document management as well? What we'll do in this case is let's just select Generate. Actionstep will create that document, place it in the document management, and all of the key details of the matter will be merged into the document. So let's go ahead and open that document up. And we're going to see here that all of the key details have been inserted into this document. So as we can see, it's dated it, put in the key details from the matter, such as the fact that this is a business sale and purchase. It's brought through a key note from the matter opening process of what we're going to be doing in this. and it's also brought through our fee estimate as well. I can see here that any where this document is located is any changes are saved to action step here. So as I go ahead and make changes to this document, we are going to begin saving those changes back into action step into the matter as well. Now, all of your documents will be stored in the matter within the cloud. You can add keywords to documents, you can add tags, and as people update the document as well, you will see that there will be additional versions created. You'll be able to see who made the changes to the document, at what date and what time, and you can download previous versions of the document as well if you do need to go back to a previous version. Now, one thing that is great about ActionStep is how easy it is to manage your precedents and your doc templates. So if I simply go into the admin area of ActionStep and I go into my matter types, I can see that I have my document templates here. If I want to make a change to how this document is generated, I can simply tick the button here, click edit in Office, and then I will be able to make changes to the template. To take this one step further, though, one thing that is very unique to ActionStep and incredibly helpful for firms that are looking to build up their list of templates and precedents is the ActionStep template builder. If I go to a document here, I'll be able to see that I have that same document template, but I have the completed version here. So in this case, let's say that someone at the office has actually created a new document, they've written it from scratch. It's something that's really great, and I want it to be available to the rest of my staff to use going forward. So rather than having to use those pesky merge fields that can be quite complex to actually create and insert into your documents, we've created this template builder. So simply find the area that you want to insert information into, click Insert Merge Fields. We're going to go ahead and pick what we're going to insert. So in this case, I want to insert a name. So I'm going to go to the matter parties here. I'm going to pick that I want the client's name to appear. And now we have a whole load of information that we can have inserted. So things like addresses, emails, phone numbers, all sorts of things. What I'm going to do in this case is I want the first name of the individual to come up. So we're just going to go ahead and type in first name. I can see client first name is there. We're just going to go ahead and click insert. And now, no having to use pesky merge fields. We're just going to have that merge field inserted automatically by ActionStep. Once you're done, you can go ahead and simply click the button here to upload this document into the templates area of ActionStep, and then it will appear here, and it will be an easy document for your staff to then generate.
Within ActionStep, you also have a couple of different layers of reports available to you. First is the 100 standard reports that you'll find in the top nav bar that come into the categories of matter reports, billing reports, accounting, and trust accounting as well. Within each of these, you can favorite reports so that they are available at the top for you. Once you actually go into a report as well, for instance, if I go into my fee earner productivity, you can also save your favorite configurations as well. So you might come in here, you might select a particular way that you want the report to be laid out, a specific date period, and there's lots of other filters that you can use as well on particular matter types or individuals within your firm. When you save that configuration, it will be available on the right here for you. Simply click that. ActionStep will then set the report up to that favorite configuration, and then you can run the report as on screen, in a PDF, or in Excel. What we'll do is I'll run this one on screen, and for this particular report, this is now going to show me for all of my fee earners how much for the month to date has each fee earner, how much billable time have they recorded, how much of that has been billed, how much of that has been, how much has been collected in total, and then what's the total realization there. I can also see those same figures for year to date. as well. The next layer of reports available in ActionStep are the custom list views. Now, custom list views are the ability for you to create tables or dashboards that give you key pieces of information depending on what type of matter you are looking at. So if it's a conveyancing matter, you might want to really quickly look at your upcoming settlements, for instance, for all of your conveyancing matters and get some key information on that. So if I was to click into that, I'd be brought to my upcoming settlements at the top here, where then I could see a full breakdown of the matters, the settlement date, the client, where we're up to in the workflow, and then other things like my last activity as well. If I use another example here, if I go into my matters for a separate system, I can see if I go into something like some key info, I can then see the name of the matter, the type of engagement that it is, how many days since we've had an activity. We've got a target wrap-up date on it now. Then we can also see things like the next task due date, what it is, and how many days we've been sitting on this current workflow step. Now, ActionStep users can create as many of these tables as they'd like. They can pick and choose the information that is appearing in these headers. So users can choose what information is displayed in them. And then based on the information that is displayed, people have the ability to filter based on that information. And rather than coming in here and regularly checking these tables, they can actually go to the more area where they can either export this as a report, print it, or they can create a heads up rule, which basically schedules this to be delivered to the user on a weekly, daily, or monthly basis as well. The next layer of reports that is available in ActionStep is our sync with Power BI. Now, this Power BI is a product that is provided in the Microsoft Office 365 suite, and it allows you to visually display your data within ActionStep in a variety of different graphical reports. Now, these can be tailored to the needs of each firm, and there are also a standard set of reports that are available through one of our partners, Verlotta, that do the Viewpoint reporting suite here as well, that comes with a standard group of reports. To find out more about Power BI, our sync with it, and the reports that you can get, I'd recommend getting in touch with an ActionStep account executive so they can talk you through this in a little bit more detail. ActionStep also has a number of options from an accounting standpoint. We have our own accounting module built into the product, and you can also integrate us with Xero or QuickBooks. When using the ActionStep accounting, you'll find 5 core areas: creating checks, managing your banking, your chart of accounts, your payables, and your receivables. Within each of these, you'll find all the core accounting functionality that you'll need to manage your business accounts. You'll find things such as your debtors, where you can see the actual client debtor, the invoice, the matter, and then the total amount that is due. And you are also able to send debtor statements out of the system as well. You'll be able to manage your bank accounts where you can see your transactions, reconcile your bank account, see your deposit slips, create electronic batches, print checks, and do a number of other core banking transactions as well. And finally, you'll have all of the key accounting reports, such as things like your balance sheet as well.
The functionality of ActionStep doesn't stop within the product. We have an open API and integrate with dozens of other products globally as well to help make your data flow from one of them into ActionStep and vice versa. Check out the integrations that we have available. Head to actionstep.com and go to the integrations page for you to find out more. So, would you like to take the next steps? In terms of how ActionStep works, we'd love to chat with you one-on-one. We can do a personalized demo for you and any other key stakeholders in the firm, and then we can begin to give you an idea as to what the costs and project would look like to onboard your firm from your previous system and onto ActionStep as well. We have no contracts, permission-based security, and a big automation and reporting suite available as well, along with a dedicated support team to help you out with any issues along the way. So don't wait any longer. Book a demo today. Thanks, everyone.